The broadcast is now starting. All attendees be in listen-only mode.
Good afternoon. Just want to do a sound check before we get started. The way that we can tell that you can hear us is if you can please raise your hand. It's a good indicator. Okay, got a couple hands raised. Thank you. All right, if you can just lower your hand so we don't confuse you for wanting to speak later on in the meeting, that would be helpful. Thanks. Okay, welcome and thank you for attending the Colorado Office of Funeral Home and Crematory Registration's stakeholder via webinar today, or stakeholder meeting via webinar today, sorry. Today is April 14th, 2021, and the time is 3:00 p.m. Before we get started, we would like to introduce the staff members from the Division of Professions and Occupations that are present. My name is Elena Kemp, and I'm a regulatory coordinator with the division. Also attending, we have Darcy Magnuson. She's a regulatory analyst. In compliance with the governor's orders regarding COVID-19, the division has transitioned to a platform that is 100% virtual, and we appreciate your flexibility. As many of you have been to DORA stakeholder meetings before, we would like to reiterate the importance of your comments today. DORA makes decisions every day that may affect your life and your business, so your input is vital in the rulemaking process. Throughout this process, our goal is to create regulations that clarify and explain legislation, ensure minimum competency to enter and continue to practice, and provide only what is absolutely necessary for consumer protection without creating unnecessary barriers to the marketplace. Your input will be part of the information that goes to the director as the director considers adopting revisions to the rules. More specifically, today we will be discussing the proposed changes to multiple rules for the program in compliance with Section 24.4.103.3 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. This, in compliance with this section, which is actually showing on the screen, it's a mandated, regularly scheduled review of the rules to assess the continuing need, appropriateness, and cost effectiveness of the rules to determine if they should be continued in their current form, modified, or repealed. And currently on the screen, we're showing the statutorily guided principles for this mandatory rule review. These principles are to ensure that the rules are necessary, do not overlap or duplicate other rules of the agency, federal or state or local government rules, are written in plain language and are easy to understand, achieve the desired intent and determine if more or less regulation is necessary, are amended to provide more flexibility, reduce regulatory burdens, and reduce unnecessary paperwork or steps, if at all possible, while maintaining their benefits, are implemented in an efficient and effective manner, including the requirements for the issuance of permits or licenses, have a timely cost-benefit analysis produced, if requested, pursuant to Section 24.4.103, subsection 2.5, and are adequate for the protection of the safety, health, and welfare of the state or its residents. This meeting is being recorded and will be posted on the office's website by the close of business tomorrow. And as the stakeholder meeting is held solely via webinar, please raise your hand by using the hand icon if you would like to speak, and we will unmute your line so you'll be heard by everyone. Or you can type your comment in the question section and we will read it aloud. Before we start taking comments, we do ask that anyone that's planning to provide comments, please state your name and the name of the organization that you represent, if any. Feel free to provide either general comments on the rule changes or specific comments on the proposed language. Please limit your comments to no more than 3 to 5 minutes, and try to keep redundancy to a minimum. If you are using audio through your computer, please remember to put phones on vibrate or turn them off. And whether you are using computer or phone audio, try to keep all background noises to a minimum when speaking. So at this time, we'll switch over to the draft rules, which you should be able to see now. These are the red line changes. And Darcy, I don't know if you want to hop in and kind of go through all of the changes or.
Sure, I can do that. So what you're seeing here is new added sections within the rules to comply with the Secretary of State's suggested styling manual. At the beginning of new rule 1.4, which is definitions, we added at the beginning of every rule the statutory authority for the promulgation.
All right, that's actually
And that's it. So, yep, we'll take any stakeholder input now.
It looks like we have a written comment from Jim Cohen. Page 3, paragraph E1F, and may utilize her experience. Should this be his or her? Thank you for catching that. We do need to remove all binary gender references. So we'll take another look at the rules and make sure that those have all been removed. I'll go to that section just so we can kind of see and I'll be on the same page. Once again, just for anybody that is just now hopping on the webinar, we're currently looking at the draft rules and some of the changes that are being proposed. And this is your opportunity to voice any concerns about any of the rules that you might want the director to look at or consider making further changes. This is your time to voice those concerns. And you can do so by raising your hand or putting the comment or question in the question section that you want to have. So not a lot of changes in the rules. A lot of it looks to be formatting and stylistic changes due to the Secretary of State's recommendations. Does anybody have any substantive changes that they would like to see in these rules? Please raise your hand. Okay. I don't see any hands raised or written comments. The time is currently 3:12, so we'll give it a few more minutes just in case someone is typing in their question or comment. We want to make sure we do capture all stakeholder feedback. But if there's no further input, we'll proceed with ending the stakeholder meeting. Okay. We still don't have any comments or any more feedback, so we will go ahead and proceed. Just so that everyone on the webinar knows, if later on you have a suggestion about changes to the rules that you would like to see, this is not the last opportunity to let your concerns be heard. You can always submit written comments to the email address that was noted on today's notice for this stakeholder meeting. The email address is Dora_DPO_rulemaking@state.co.us. So you can always submit those comments and we will forward them to the director for consideration. So thank you for participating in today's meeting. All stakeholder comments and program recommendations will be provided to the director for review and consideration before the director adopts revisions to the rules. Stakeholders will be allowed a final opportunity to provide testimony at the permanent rulemaking hearing. And that hearing is tentatively scheduled for May 19th, 2021. That concludes our meeting, and we are going to end the webinar now. Thank you.